In this video, we're going to show you how to remove and replace rear center flex hose on a Jeep Wrangler. It's located in the center of the vehicle above the rear differential. So I'm going to start by removing the bracket mounting bolt for the upper flex hose to that upper control arm. I have like a 1/2 inch or a 13 millimeter socket on this nut. Let me take that right off. You want to remove it completely. Set it aside, and now you're going to take the flex hose and that emergency brake bracket out of the way. Get them clear. Then I'm going to follow right up to here to the mounting part on the subframe, and I'm going to just loosen that brake line. Now it's a 7/16. I'm going to use a flaring side of it. See if I can snap it free. I did pre-spray it, so I just want it loose enough like this, moving freely, and I don't want it to drip. But I want it loose enough that I can undo it when I undo that mount. Then I'm going to follow the hose right down to where it mounts on the differential. Now you have the differential vent that comes up through that vent tube mounting bolt. So if you have a clamp, take the clamp off and just pull that hose right off. Get it out of the way. You have your 2 brake lines going into it from each wheel, and that is a 3/8 wrench. So I'm going to break that free. I just want to make them loose enough. They probably will start dripping. I do have a catch pan underneath, but I want them loose enough so that I can take them off after. Now the center bolt, vent tube bolt, is a 9/16 or 14 millimeter. You're going to put a deep socket on that, and we're going to break that free. I recommend getting a new one if you have an older vehicle, because they will rot eventually, and they can break off in the tube of the diff, and that's not going to be fun for anyone. So this is what it looks like. See how it's pretty rounded off. The nut's not in good shape, so I'm going to replace it. Now I'm going to go up to the mounting spot, which is a Torx bit up on the top here, because I want to break that free. And that is a T40. So you're going to take a T40 and a ratchet and take that mounting bolt right off. I'm going to take my 7/16, and I'm going to take this line completely out. You can use the actual little hook that comes with the bracket to center it while you pull down. Son of a... I thought I had it loose enough. There we go. Make sure you have a catch bucket underneath, because that's going to drip quite a bit. Now with my 3/16, I'm going to take the other 2 lines off. All right, now we have all the lines off. Take that hose right out of the way and put it right in my bucket. So before I put the new hose on, I'm going to take a rag and I want to clean that surface area, make sure there's no rust, so that it gets a nice good seat. It won't leak because it's internal, but we can at least start it. I'm going to start one of the lines by hand. Nice. And then I'm going to get the other line. Start that. This line's gonna go up over the top. Before I mount it, it's so much easier to get the line started. And that's the 3/8 wrench. I'm going to take it, the line, follow it up, and I'm going to go right to that lovely dripping line. That's the 7/16 one. And I'm going to see if I can turn it by hand. If you can't, just gently turn it while you seat that line. We're going to get that lined up just like that. Get that Torx head bolt. That's that T40. Now you can get your 7/16 wrench, use the flare side, and tighten this line up. I like to do, once it bottoms out, I'll give it a good little eighth of a turn. Now I said I got a new mounting bolt for that differential plug. Now you're going to want to find the bolt hole in that tube, straighten it out. There we go. Start it by hand. Okay, get our deep socket. Okay. Just the mounting bolt, so you just want it snug. 3/8 wrench. We're going to snug these lines up so they can stop dripping. I like to use the tubing side to confirm it's going to get not rounded off. I'm going to get my vent hose, lay tucked aside, place that over the vent, pop it down. That's pretty tight. You can put a clamp on it if you want to. I recommend it only because you don't want water getting in there. So now we're going to put the parking brake cable bracket on and put our flex hose bolt bracket on. Let's spray all the brake line areas, get it all clean. I'll go get a clamp for that vent hose. Okay. So now I'm going to take the nut, thread the nut on. Just snug it up. I'm going to put a wire tie around the actual vent hose instead of a clamp. Let's see if we can get in there. Make sure you're in that groove. And that'll definitely stop it from coming off. And there we go. After installing the rear flex hose, you're going to need to bleed both rear brakes, so take both the wheels off so you can access the wheel cylinder bleeder screws. So we're going to remove the wheel, 19mm socket, and just take it off. And an 8mm wrench. I have someone inside to help me pump up the brakes. So we're going to take that boot cover off, and it is an 8mm. Go ahead and pump the brakes up and hold them. And of course, this is after I've already cleaned out the master fluid and topped it off with fresh fluid. 8mm wrench, and I'm going to put on my little catcher. Let's open it up. So you want to you want to do it till you get no air. Close it up. Pump it up. Got lots of air in here. Close it up. Pump it up. Pump it up. I'm just going to see how much air I have. I have a catch basin down below. Okay, I've got no air, so I'm going to close this up tight. So now I'm going to clean it off with some brake clean. And re-put that dust boot right on that bleeder screw. And we're going to move over to the left rear wheel now. Okay, now we're on the left rear. I'm going to take that dust boot off. The bleeder screw is an 8mm wrench. Going to get it on there. Have the person inside the vehicle pump it up. That looks pretty good. Pump it up. Pump it up. Pump it up. All right, I'm going to snug this up, clean it up, and then check my master. Don't forget to put the boot back on. So now we're going to put our cover back on, and we're going to go check the master, pump up the brakes and hold them, and see if there's any leaks. Now we're going to top our master fluid off for the last time. When that happens right there, that's normal. That means the suction was pulling down on that. You're just going to push that boot right back inward like that, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Now we can take our brake fluid and top it off. This time we're not going to go all the way to the top. We're going to go right to that fill line. Brake fluid does expand. See those two dots right there? That's where the manufacturer would like it. Right in between those two lines. Replace the cover. Make sure it's tight. Now you can put both rear wheels back on and torque them to spec. Install it, put your lug nuts on. That's a 19mm socket, and we're going to just snug it up. Go in a star pattern. The wheel torque for this specific vehicle is 85 to 110 foot-pounds. I'm going to go right at 110 because it is of older age. You're going to torque it in star pattern. Double check. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.